I know I always ask this question, but for real, why
You
did
really do.
I do, but why did the chicken cross the road? To get away from the police. Take a look at your screens. This video is making rounds on social media. A Laredo police officer is chasing a little chicken over by International and Loop 20. We don't really know what led up to this chicken run, but it may be a coincidence that it's in front of the local Bush's Chicken. Maybe this little guy tried to make a break for it. Needless to say, we don't know if he was caught or if he got away or if he was somebody's dinner a little bit later on. We just have no
clue. That was funny. Oh, look at that replay. Wow.
I'm guessing.
Stop traffic for that.
Well, I'm guessing maybe they're trying to avoid some sort of a traffic accident with a chicken in the road. Well, today is the perfect day to give back to local food banks. National Food Bank Day. The first Friday falls on the first Friday of September, and it serves as a day to commit to contributing to the cause that believes no person should go without a meal. Food banks across the country help roughly 42 million men, women, and children who struggle with putting food on the table. Some of the ways you can celebrate the day are by making a donation, volunteering at your local food bank, or donating non-perishable items. Use the hashtag National Food Bank Day to give your local food bank a shout out and to share on social media. Food banks have been crucial during this pandemic. Since the beginning of this pandemic, they've had to step up big time to help this community, Barbara.
Yes, they have. And actually, there's a distribution going on today at 8 in the morning at the Laredo Regional Food Bank. If you need it, you can show. Local bikers rolled around the street of Laredo Saturday morning to inspire hope. Lazy Boy Tattoos, along with the Golden Heart Project and Bella Strong, held its annual Ride of Hope event. Every year, Hector Hernandez of Lazy Boy Tattoos holds this event to raise awareness for childhood cancer. All of the donations from each rider will go to the Golden Heart Project, as well as Bella Strong, which helps children battle. And Disney is once again giving theaters exclusivity to new film releases instead of debuting them on its streaming service. The decision is for all the movies coming out for the rest of the year. That includes Marvel's Eternals, a remake of West Side Story, and Encanto. Disney is still fast-tracking releases to its streaming service, though. Movies will be on the big screen for 45 days before they hit Disney+. The exception is Encanto, which will see a theatrical release the day before Thanksgiving and then head to Disney+ Christmas Eve. The move shows Disney is optimistic about movie theater audiences returning after Marvel's Shang-Chi broke Labor Day box office records.
To scary movies. If you like scary movies, Barbara.
No.
No?
I'll avoid that.
A finance company is looking to pay someone $1,300 to watch 13 scary movies.
Finance Buzz says it wants to know whether high-budget horror movies are scarier than low-budget offerings. So it's picking a person to watch more than a dozen horror films while wearing a heart monitor. The movies come from a variety of budgets, from the bootstrapped Blair Witch Project to this year's $61 million production, A Quiet Place 2. Applications are due October the 1st. I'm just wondering, what if you're just a scaredy cat? Of course your heart's gonna be racing.
Yeah.
Especially for me, I get scared over anything. Even right now, thinking about scary movies, I just don't want to even think about it. Yeah, so I'm just not that person.
I'm thinking $1,300 isn't enough money.
Yeah.
13 movies?
Because with scary movies
monitor?
comes nightmares and all these other things. So
hadn't heard
I'm just not for it.
Was there ever a Blair Witch Project 2?
Yes, there was
right?
Blair Witch Project, the original one with the found footage. The second one where they tried to do like an actual movie, because of course they didn't have the found footage in part 2. And of course it bombed terribly. And I think they even did like a reboot remake type thing, where I think they went back to the found footage style. And it has that same debate where it's like, do you prefer the big budget blockbuster horror films, or do you prefer the small indie films where they use practical effects? I know that films like Evil Dead, the original one, they use a lot of practical effects where they use like, you know, the stunt works, and the stuntmen were like really injured in that movie because they had no budget for a stuntman.
The thing with low budget, is that it somehow turns out to look cheesy at some point.
Sometimes.
Not always.
But was Quiet Place 2 as good as the first one?
I thought it was. It was pretty good, but if you ask me, Quiet Place isn't really a horror film. I think it's more like a sci-fi thriller.
Purchase the rights to Roald Dahl's beloved children's stories. The streaming giant is planning to build what it calls a unique universe of products based on the stories. The rights to the late British author's works are managed by the Roald Dahl Story Company, which Netflix said on Wednesday it had acquired. This isn't the first time the two companies have teamed up. 3 years ago, they collaborated on multiple animated TV series that included one based on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and an adaptation of Matilda the Musical.
Penguins, there were some at an aquarium in central Japan, now have something new to look forward to. They regularly take walks to a nearby field to get some exercise. The area had only a simple structure of just pillars and a roof where the aquatic birds can hide in the shade. Student volunteers decided to give them a helping hand to build a new hut with 2 sets of stairs. A zookeeper, however, was worried about a characteristic of African penguins.
Yes, since these are aquatic animals, Ruben, they take time to adapt to a new environment. But despite the concerns, the penguins proceeded smoothly in their stroll, except for that one being kept backtracking. A zookeeper.
Hi, Ruben. Random items. That's what we should call the segment from now on. Just random items.
This is the random item segment now.
Just roll that in the intro.
All because of the flower.
Well, guys, it's me, Mario. Well, I'm not Mario, but the actors behind the voices of the new Super Mario Brothers movie have been announced, and it's quite the ensemble. You got Chris Pratt voicing Mario, Charlie Day voicing Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy, which will play Princess Peach, Keegan-Michael Key will play Toad, and get this, Seth Rogen will play Donkey Kong, and Jack Black will play Bowser. The movie is slated to hit theaters December 21st of next year, but will it hold up to the original live-action movie? You know, the one from the early 90s? I'd say it's probably gonna beat that. I don't know if you guys remember that old school 90s movie.
No, I was about to point that out. I'll be honest, I never heard of it. So just hearing that there's a movie in general about the Super Marios excites me.
There's a reason for it, because it wasn't that good. However, the people who grew up with it love it because it's so bad. You have like some weird dinosaurs and everything, but this is going to be a lot more. They're going to be more faithful to the source material, and you got some great voice actors. I love Chris Pratt in the movie, the Lego Movie, Onward, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he's always hilarious. And of course, Anya Taylor-Joy from the Queen's Gambit series.
When you said it was a bad movie and that's why people liked it, it kind of reminds me of the Sharknado series. There's like a whole bunch of them. It's a horrible movie, but people just get a kick out of the fact that it's so bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think also like the nostalgia of it is also why people love it, because if you recall, like the 90s was all about dinosaurs, so it has a little dinosaur feel to it.
December of next year, goodness gracious.
I can't wait that long.
That's a while. That's a
I want to
while.
watch it now.
Fill the
It's all
cake
good.
platter for today and make us happy.
But Ruben, Barbara, are you guys fans of seafood? Any of you?
Not in the morning.
Really?
Well, a Maine fishing crew made an accidental catch of a lifetime, which ended up benefiting a good cause. Earlier this month, Captain Ross Alex and his crew went fishing for lobster bait off the coast of Belfast and caught a 600-pound tuna. Look at that. With a market value of $10,000. By law, they were not supposed to keep it, but they got the green light to give the big fish to the Belfast Soup Kitchen, and on Tuesday, it was served up to hundreds of people who were in need of some good old seafood. And look at that. They got it all cooked up there in plates, and look at that. Rice, bread, and it looks like people are enjoying it and having a blast. I wish I could have some of that.
It's like the pre-Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like a Thanksgiving meal, like how they do the Feast of Sharing every year.
That's very, so that's tuna, but they just cook it differently?
Yeah.
Like I'm used to seeing the tuna in the can or in the pouch or whatever, which by the way, I cannot stand tuna.
I remember you said that.
Yeah, I can't even smell tuna. So is it different in that form, Justin?
Yes.
Is it more like steak?
More like salmon, what's the other one? Trout.
You know what I
tilapia.
can't stand? Just the thought of it, the sardines in the can.
Oh no.
Oh goodness.
The smell really is what really gets me. I think really the only seafood that I truly like is shrimp.
What about salmon? I love salmon.
Too fishy.
I cook
for
it
me.
every day. I cook it all the time.
I like salmon too.
Real quick, did they say they were fishing for lobster bait?
Yes.
You have to fish for lobster bait?
True story.
So many thoughts right
I
now.
would never make it out on the seas, that's for sure. Well, if it does rain, it's going to be perfect to sit back as the nation celebrates America's favorite pick-me-up. Today is National Coffee Day. According to the National Day calendar, coffee has been around since the 15th century. Back then, Yemen monks prepared their coffee much like we do today. With a coffee maker, they roasted the coffee beans and brewed it.
So the beans were eventually smuggled out of the Middle East and later spread to Europe, Indonesia, and the Americas. And now today, more than 50 countries around the world grow coffee, and there's plenty of deals. There's a couple deals at Starbucks. You can get a free drip coffee, and also at Dunkin' Donuts, I believe.
Dunkin' Donuts has something going on as well. Well, thanks for watching. Have a blessed rest of your Wednesday.
We'll see you tomorrow.